No?
Reverend Marcus, I hear you don't believe in me.
Who are you?
Avalon.
You promised me you weren't going to go. You look at me like that. You promised me you weren't going to mess with that stuff.
No. I promised you I wasn't going to buy a Ouija board. I didn't buy a Ouija board.
You mean exactly what I meant.
I'm not playing head games, man. If anyone's playing head games, you're playing head games, but I'm not playing head games.
I don't have it. We have to go. I'm serious, I don't have it.
Are you fucking serious?
Fucking serious, I don't have the map, okay?
Heather, that is so not cool.
I know it's not.
That is so...
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I'm Richard. We're here in the dining room / office / library. I am with Nafa. Hello, Nafa.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's kind of the end of September, so we're gonna throw this up as a precursor, reverse peristalsis preview of our Halloween episode. So this is like the champagne bottle against my hull. Know what I mean?
Episode 83?
Episode 84, I believe. No, I haven't posted 83 yet.
Oh.
See, spoilers.
Oh, no. There's an 83 before this one, sorry.
That's okay.
You'll find out later in the past when you listen to this after 83.
It's like reverse peristalsis. No.
I'm wearing the same shirt as the Nicolas Cage.
Nice. Yeah. I'm wearing the same underwear, so it's all good. They refused to me after Nicolas Cage burned them on my body with his Ghost Rider 2.
Oh, you're gonna burn your underwear to yourself.
Oh, is that solar flare gonna hurt you?
Oh. Poor Idris Elba.
I said at the beginning of our hanging out tonight that the found footage genre is the Nicolas Cage of horror movies genres.
That's pretty dang accurate.
It almost made sense. We are talking about 2 found footage movies, and then we're going to just talk about some of our favorites from the found footage genre, because this is definitely the bastard stepchild of film in general, and it's perfect in almost every way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The 2 films we're talking about, first is Nightlight, and the second is Mockingbird.
Turn on your nightlight. Before we go anywhere into this, let me just say we actually picked 2 films that were received with a positive after the viewing. I mean, yeah, we picked a few before the.
We didn't pull a what was it?
This is so kitschy, it's good or bad, or
yes,
we're good.
I didn't know, other than one trailer for one of these films for Nightlight. I had never seen anything about Mockingbird.
Yeah, Richard had showed me the trailer for Nightlight, but I had actually forgotten about it until a few scenes in, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" And that's all I remembered.
Oh my god! So I'm gonna play the trailer for Nightlight, and we'll get into it. So here you go.
Let's do this thing. Here we go.
What happens if you don't get to your flashlight in time?
I don't know. That's never happened before.
Yeah, let's go, Nia.
No.
How much further are we going?
You can see dead bodies just lying at the bottom of the crest. We blindfold you, count to 100.
I think this is stupid. Guys!
And then you try and find us.
Ben? Grace?
If you die in Covington, your spirit becomes a part of the woods. Everything here is haunted.
What if I can't find you?
Just scream Nightlight.
Scared me. Nightlight. Nightlight! People go out here all the time, and they don't come back.
Did you really know the boy who died here?
It's them! March to the church!
Robin? I'm so sorry, Ethan. Where are we?
Help us!
Don't hurt me.
All right, that was the trailer for Nightlight. It's from this year, May 27th, 2015, though it was filmed, I think,
2013.
In 2013, which means it took 2 years to edit it all together. Maybe. Or it got held back.
Distribution. Can you say House of a Thousand Corpses?
I can.
Oh.
This was directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods.
The Ghost Rider DVD is over your shoulder. It's just taunting me. Third one in, two down. Oh.
Knowing is here too. The ghost of knowing, the DVD you left here. And
I thought you wouldn't know.
I'm going to pretend. No, I kept it for my own personal viewing, for my own private videotapings. Nightlight is about a young lady who wants to hang out with the cool kids. So she plays Nightlight with them out in the woods, a haunted woods. And I don't want to spoil anything in this episode. I think...
Let's just say the one setup thing is technically it is a found footage film, and technically it is not. And this is the part that I'm having the worst trouble with the film, because the film was fun. But... it's not actually a recording that's found. It's a perspective film from the perspective of the titular character, the Nightlight.
A flashlight.
Yeah.
Yes.
But still, it counts as...
I consider it a found footage movie, but it is very unique in that how does a flashlight film anything? Why is the film from the perspective of this flashlight?
That intrigued me. At the same time, it annoyed me at first, but it actually was a kind of cool, different... it was kind of one of those things to where, like, oh, you've got the flashlight now, so the story follows you. Oh, you've got the flashlight now, so...
Right.
So that was cool, and it did kind of bend my usual stringent rules of having music or stingers or things like that, but it's going a different direction, so it's...
That was the thing that I remember... What?
You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro?
They're trolls. They're trolling us! The thing that you talked about when we first discussed found footage genre, like probably a year or two ago, you pointed out the non-diegetic music. Music that is laid over the soundtrack.
It was actually before that. It was when we went to go see The Last Exorcism.
Oh, that's right.
And they were throwing in soundtrack music. Not incidental music like they're passing through someplace and there's an orchestral score playing on the CD player. Or, Chuck E. Cheese is playing the Humpty Dance or something. It's something that, we're going to sell a soundtrack. The only one who didn't sell a soundtrack like that was Blair Witch. Because it was Josh's music mix that was on his CD. And yes, I bought that. So.
Nice.
But it wasn't in the film per se, except for when they were driving.
Right. These kids, as they're being chased around in the woods by the supernatural elements, we shall say, there's a timpani and some other kind of...
just a little stinger... teaser, jumpy music.
Some synthesizer-y stuff.
But it works. Hey. I'm bending my rules completely for this film because it was enjoyable.
So many found footage movies can't resist doing that. So it's just like, all right. If Last Exorcism does it, we're going to do it. I wrote down my 3 favorite quotes from this movie.
I wrote down a couple.
The thing with this one that made me worry from the beginning was it was teenagers. teeny tiny teenagers, and they were at first a deal breaker. I was like, oh no. But if you hang with this movie and you get past some of the lines like, blowjobs from ghosts out here.
Blowjobs.
Oh, excuse me, low jobs. I'm a Greek statue.
That's one of mine.
And my favorite, no phones, bitchosaurus. Like, wow. That's potential tattoo material right there.
Well, the other two, well, the other line that I had was, turn off your flashlights as much as you can. What? Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. But then I when we were watching it and they're going on and they said the bitchosaurus thing, I was to paraphrase something that Richard said years and years ago. This script was written by people who think that's the way that teenagers talk.
Yes.
Kind of like, this is what people think that teenagers listen to. That's the kind of music this is.
Turn on your plot light. Yeah. You pointed out something that I liked. You said you liked the cinematography of this one.
Yeah. The way
and they framed things very well when the flashlight cam is not flip-flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
There's some really, really pretty shots.
Some of the incidental ways that the camera ends up that brings certain things into focus and sets it up so something will be out of focus, or etc. Oh god, it was really good.
Yeah,
for computer CGI elements, and it was really kind of seamless.
They were kept to a minimal, and there's seriously creepy stuff in here. It's like the trailer, the imagery in the trailer is what drew me to this one. Is it showed you flashes of things that looked really interesting, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And I'm glad we did. I'm glad we watched this. This was a fun one.
Early on, before they even get to over the river and through the woods, there's a train scene where they're playing chicken with the train, and that, at first I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But it got kind of tense. I enjoyed that. You can see in my notes where I was like skeptical at first, and then there's a point in the film where I'm like, wow, this is really the atmosphere, and everything is fantastic.
Yeah, and it's all at night. The whole it starts at dusk, and we're following the one girl, and then it gets dark, and it's just really fucking cool.
Robin.
Great dog acting.
Oh, yes.
She has a dog named Kramer. Kramer!
Versus
nothing. Should have been Kramer versus dogs. I recommend this one to folks who, if you can handle teen horror movies, you're going to get a lot of that. But if you can handle the found footage genre or the flashlight genre, go for it.
I don't want to give anything away.
Right.
There is one really spectacular scene. It's midway through the film where, fast forward about 20 seconds if you don't want to hear this part starting now.
There you go.
One of the characters recites a dream she has, saying, I dreamt this before. And as she's saying it, everything is unfolding.
Yeah.
That was gorgeous.
That was really good.
Okay, click back on. I stopped saying it.
End of spoiler.
And there is a British character whose name is...
Been the two of us need look no more. We both found what we were looking for.
And the other duder in it is from Tampa.
Oh my god, that was like a mic drop. That was fucking amazing.
I've had that paused up since the movie, since 40 minutes into the film.
Ben Dover, Ben Vereen.
Ben Gay.
How long? I wish I thought of Ben Vereen while we were watching it.
You know what's funny is I was watching him on Match Game the last 2 or 3 days. It's like,
It's like he came on, you were like, pause, masturbate, pause.
Yeah, well, it's Match Game. That was a game show in the 70s that I had forgotten about, but I loved.
I'm gonna play the theme song for it right now because it's amazing.
Yeah, well, Gene Rayburn and Brett Summers and Charles Nelson Riley.
Oh my god,
and Richard Dawson.
Oh, so creepy. I could never trust him after Running Man. He was not Richard Dawson to me. He was the evil guy from Running Man. Then I was like, oh, okay, he's the host of some show. Or 2. Or 10.
See, I remember him from Match Game and Family Feud. And Hogan's Heroes.
Wow.
He was the British guy.
Didn't even remember that.
And he used to go by Dickie Dawson when he was a stage performer. I've learned a lot.
I went by Dickie Schmidt.
Yes.
Yes. You said you'd stop bringing that up. Oh, wait. No, I brought that up. So let's move on to our next found footage movie.
Because everything else I've got is spoilers.
Please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Can we stop now? Can we stop now, please?
I'm not going to turn it off. This was a red box sitting on our doorstep.
What's this? Camera.
Oh, dude. Well, look what I won. Oh. They left us a tip. I think it's part 2 of the contest.
Hey there, boys and girls. I've got a game for us to play.
It's our house.
What? They filmed us.
Put the camera down.
It's not turning off. Somebody there? What's going on? What do you want me to do?
Come out and play.
Hello?
I've got a present. I can't wait for you to open it.
So the second movie we watched tonight, another unseen by both of us, and by Lietta, who got to be tormented with both of these movies tonight, is Mockingbird. And what was Mockingbird?
Mock.
Ing.
Bird.
Poop.
Pee.
Dingling.
Ness.
Dinglingness?
Yeah.
What year was this one?
2014.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And by Universal Pictures.
2014, directed by Brian Bertino. Now, I really knew nothing about this.
Bertino, great pizza maker.
That's Bertoli.
Oh!
Is it?
Then I know nothing about
Is Bertoli pasta and pizza?
It's Italian stuffs.
Same thing. Do they make what is it? A calzone stuffed with spaghetti now? Somebody does. That's a lot of bread.
That would be intriguing to cut into, and then all the spaghetti wiggles out. That's a little too...
So this movie is about some folks in 1995 who receive packages on their front doorsteps of video cameras. And these video cameras come with notes and instructions and whatnot. The key thing with these video cameras, you can't turn them off. The ability to stop recording has been completely disabled. So these people are then given instructions if they want to stay alive, or in the case of the husband and wife, if they don't want anything to happen to their little girls, then they have to keep following these instructions and these more and more bizarre instructions. And there's a grunge girl, because, you know, she's living alone. It's 1995. Oh, she's cuckoo. She's cuckoo.
Well, it was the 90s.
Oh, everyone was cuckoo.
I gotta say, this movie started with a bang.
Dead kids. Yeah, it says Once Upon a Time in 1995, and then it immediately shoots a little kid in the head, and we have no idea what's going on. There's 3 stories intersecting. The third person is a young man who lives with his mother, and he's been waiting for his big moment. His Melvins t-shirt has Christopher Lee on it. I think that Christopher Lee loved the Melvins. I'm going to go ahead and say that he did in his life. This is broken up into chapters, and we see these intersecting stories, and it gets more and more fucked up as these people are manipulated to do things. And it's really good. I really wish I'd seen this in theaters.
I really wish I hadn't looked up what I just looked up.
Oh. What did you learn?
Well, you remember when I leaned over and said, this kind of reminds me like of a rougher version of a certain movie?
Yeah, what was the movie you said?
The Strangers.
The Strangers. Is it the same guy?
Same director and writer. Brian Boitano, or whatever his name is.
You called it, dude.
I
love The Strangers.
I don't know if I don't care, or if it makes this film a little less in my mind. I don't know.
Oh, because they did The Strangers?
Because it felt to me, that's immediately what I thought of.
It was like The Strangers just made into found footage.
Indie.
There you go. Yeah.
And you know, in a not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It just
I remember when that rash of home invasion, although they weren't at home in Vacancy, it was a type of home invasion movie. And I saw that in theaters, and I thought it was okay. I saw The Strangers, and I've always loved The Strangers ever since then. The masks in that are so iconic.
Well, so was the imagery in this.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Clowns. Hope you like clowns.
Yeah,
and mannequins and sex dolls that drop from the ceiling. Oh, what?
Whereas Nightlight kind of started hokey.
Yeah.
And halfway through there was this revelation and it turned out to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
Mockingbird kind of started tense and just built on that.
Yeah.
And
very dark.
And the 3 separate stories going where they go really worked well with it.
Yeah. I liked that we had no non-diegetic music. We had just the
incidental.
Yeah, whoever's behind all this is sending tapes, making phone calls, playing a record, and it's all classical and all opera, and it's like a greatest hits of creepy ass opera and creepy classical music.
Beautiful, Peer Gynt and
oh my god,
what was the Requiem by Mozart, Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven.
It was so good. That just warms my heart when those kinds of pieces of music for horror movies, they were overused for a long time, and then I feel like now's a good time to start slipping those, because you forget about those pieces of music when you're watching these films.
A lot of the 80s ones that were trying to be bigger than they were would rely on. Yeah. I just thought of a point about each movie that they share that doesn't spoil anything. Both of them have animals.
Yeah.
One of them has implied animal violence.
Yeah.
The other one has definite animal violence. So it's not lingering and it's not gruesomely dealt with, but it's there. So if it disturbs you, you'll know the parts when they come up because...
And it's not Italian, so we know it's not real.
Yeah.
It's not, what's the word?
Real.
Well, not... It's not real. Yeah, like you said, it's not lingered on. It's not gratuitous. That's the word I was looking for. It's part of the story.
It forwards the story, and one of them you're really not sure, who or what.
Yeah.
It just you can be happily thinking, oh, that wasn't.
Both moments killed and rekindled my boner. I mean, no. No. Man, but this was a great double feature.
It was. These were both entertaining films, and I was leery at first not recording the first half of this, because I was like, oh, well, maybe the second film is going to be so good or so bad that it will make me forget about the first one, but they both stood on their own.
This was good stuff. Red balloons. Just red balloons.
Yeah.
Oh, 99 left. Yes! Who is the band that... Nana. Not the band. The Nana did it.
No, Nana is the band. Gabrielle Kerner's the singer.
Now that I didn't know.
Yeah, she's not... It's like Blondie and Debbie Harry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. You can call her Blondie, but her name is Debbie.
There's so many freaking record drops in this episode. I love it.
I had Nana's poster on my wall for the longest time.
So I messaged Brad of, hello, this is the Doom Show, while we were finishing up these two movies. And
what show is that?
Hello, this is the Boobs Dong.
Oh.
And Brad said he voted on these two movies. He enjoyed Nightlight, didn't like Mockingbird because of the ending. Now, without spoiling the ending, I could see why people would be like, oh, okay. But I also thought, oh, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, without going into it.
I was pleasantly surprised.
There you go.
I was...
What happens is the house takes off, goes into space to another dimension.
3 of them are left on the ground crawling around. Yep. One of them, he's got his wheelchair, but he can't quite reach it.
Right, and they can't find each other because they're in the smoke. They're in drag. Their heels are hurting them.
Yeah, so...
I'm just kidding, folks. We're talking about the ending to Kramer versus Kramer.
Kramer versus Predator.
Kramer versus aliens. All right, so we're going to talk about some found footage movies. I'm going to throw some titles at you here, Nafa. If you haven't seen them, pretend you have. No, don't do that. I think you've seen some of these, or if at least you'll know these by reputation.
I like to think of them as fond footage. I'm a fan of the found footage genre.
You are, and I encourage that completely, because I'm a fan of it as well, within reason.
Blair Witch was one of the greatest experiences in a theater I've had. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I loved it. I remember going to the theater, it had a great crowd. Everybody was losing their minds. A woman screamed out for her mama. She's like, "Mama!" We went. So good.
It was what, 99?
Yep.
And I still have my 2 shirts and my hat.
Nice.
But we went, and the 4 of us went to the theater. We watched it, and we were kind of like, oh yeah, and then we started getting into it. This was at Downtown Disney, so we were at the AMC there. We left the theater, we got up. Usually after a movie, we're like, oh yeah, that was fun, let's go. We just got up, nobody said a word. We walked out, walked kind of slowly and contemplatively to Planet Hollywood, is where we went to go get dinner. Or lunch, or whatever. And so we go up there. How many? 4, please. Thank you. Okay. Sit down. I'm looking at Kirk. Kirk's looking at Vanessa. Vanessa's looking at Karen. Karen's looking at me. We're all looking across. 15 minutes go by before any of us say a word. And we're like, was that real? What had just happened? What did we just see? Was that a documentary? What was that? It got into our heads.
Perfect.
I mean, it may not have been like that at any time, but the time we saw it, it was a perfect storm of that's what we needed to see. And we had the best time.
Nice. Because I saw it at Brandon Theater, and which is just a little ways away from good old Tampa. And it was Mike Jolly and I, and we saw the movie, and when we got out, it was late. It was like after midnight when we got out, and we're driving back to our apartment, which is by the campus, so we had to go on 75, which has almost no streetlights. Yeah. In fact, I think the stretch we were on had no streetlights.
It doesn't over north of I-4.
And I believe it was not a full moon, but a pretty bright moon and fog in the trees. And it was so creepy because we were as excited as you guys were, but instead of being silent, we were just talking about it. And we were getting more creeped out talking about our imaginations and what we imagined in our minds had happened. Oh man, what a classic.
Yeah.
Classic thing.
I mean, it was a solid 15, because the front of the theater to the restaurant is a 2-3 minute walk. And we sat down and nobody said a word. We didn't even order. We're just looking at the menu, looking under John Travolta's, Sylvester Stallone's Love Shack that's hanging overhead. Whatever they have in Planet Hollywood, I don't know.
It's
amazing.
It's his old massage table hanging up on the wall.
I wish only need a plot.
Can I turn over? Get a happy ending.
Up your nose with the rubber. Hey, I did watch a couple of Scientology documentaries today.
Hey,
I saw that Going Clear one. That's all the rage right now.
Is that the one where you drink a lot of water until your pee is clear?
So you pee out your thetans.
One of the films that I remember renting from...
Oh, yes. That's right, found footage.
Found footage, yeah. Let's get away from those Scientologists. I don't want to lose our fan base.
What? Where?
Whoa.
Xenu.
Man Bites Dog.
Yes.
The French movie that is found footage, black and white. Camera crew following a serial killer.
One of my favorite lines in that, where he's in the very beginning when he's telling you how to weigh a body. Oh, but if you have a child, you want it to be dead. It's just like, oh, jeez.
That movie is so dark, and it gets worse. Because I remember, I want to say there was 2 cuts of that.
Yeah, I think there was an unrated and...
Because I watched the R-rated, and then one day, years later, I saw the unrated, and it got much worse than I thought. It's so dark, and I feel like I would never, ever watch that again for entertainment.
You know what's funny is that was a movie I started out to really enjoy. I like the concept of this gonzo documentary, faux documentary team following this dude around, and it kind of lost me towards the end. I remember that. I don't know if it just maybe got too serious or got too real or
got darker and darker.
Something about it just lost me. But the beginning, if it were a 45-minute movie, I'm glad it didn't stay jovial and lighthearted.
That would have been bad.
Yeah.
When he invites the camera crew to maybe participate is when it goes horrible.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to another film that is not entertaining. Man Bites Dog rides the line for a little while.
I'm trying to guess.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, okay.
This is like half found footage, half not found footage, half dramatic movie. Famous Italian film. Famous band. Mainly for animal violence, and partly because they thought the actors were dead, because the director encouraged the people to stay out of the public eye for a few months when it was released. This movie I want to love because it is a gut punch, and you feel so horrifically dead inside when it's over, but mainly because of the animal violence. Not staged. Not staged.
There's a couple of films like that.
Ugh.
For that, was it Cannibal Ferox?
Yep. Or Cannibal Ferox, whichever. I don't know. I've always said Ferox in my head.
Emerald Forest or the Emerald Jungle. Yeah. Whichever one wasn't the big Hollywood film. I forgot. One of those two titles. I think the Emerald Jungle is the legit one.
Yes.
So that's like the Emerald Forest, which could have, granted, I saw that when I was 14, something like that. And it could have been just a different title of one of the other films. Because I don't remember it being much different.
Yeah.
It was like these exploratory, white man goes into the jungle and it just comes across rituals and, overt sex and animal violence and cannibalism. And, I've never actually gone over to check it out and see if it is what I remember.
What I would do with Cannibal Holocaust, as I call it sometimes, is there is a version where they take out all the animal violence. It's like the animal-friendly version that's on the DVD. I don't know if they still... It was the Grindhouse releasing version. Actually, they would play the whole movie without any animal violence. What I would take it a step further is just take this camera crew that are staging all these horrible events and kill them, and just show their footage found. Don't have the wraparound segments with the television board discussing whether or not they should show this footage. I think that would be really, really even more fucked up if you just completely isolated that. For the record, that turtle that gets killed in the movie was a better actor than all the actors in the movie. So this brings me to, speaking of television, did you ever see The Last Broadcast? Do you know about this one?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they were the dudes from up in Pennsylvania somewhere, New Jersey, made the film when they were going out to look for the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is I just revisited that this weekend.
I really like that one. That was good. It's another one of those showing you what it's doing with one hand and the other hand is reaching around to strangle you to death.
I remember having love for that film and then revisiting it recently. My vision of it is tainted in the post-found footage. Some things in my mind didn't hold up. But some things, I don't want to talk about it with already a skewed perspective. Yeah. Because when it came out, it was like, what?
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, everybody does that sort of ending. Everybody's got some sort of twisty thing. But I just love the egotistical perspective of the antagonist.
Yeah.
And all the way to the end. And it was just like, that part of it I appreciated. Certain parts of it just And I don't want to say it's because it's bad or because it just hasn't held up, but just with so many of those films going now.
Well, that was out right before Blair Witch, so some of it may not be aging very well.
Yeah, whereas Blair Witch, I think they were successful in cutting out a lot of the extraneous... Well, not that there was a lot of extraneous stuff in Last Broadcast, but Blair Witch successfully trimmed everything down into a dealable package. Once again, me saying that, it's just because I'm a huge fan of the Blair Witch, too. So I can't give it a fair shake, but I respect its place in history a lot.
You mean the Blair Witch Part 2? Or do you mean the Blair Witch as well?
As well.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It sounded funny. I was like, wait, did you say Blair Witch?
Not Book of Shadows.
Because, and I've talked about this on this podcast before, but I am a convert with Book of Shadows.
That movie.
I like it.
The movie was so good. Oh. And the Emerald Forest, that's the Emerald Forest. The Emerald Jungle was also called Eaten Alive.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Eaten Alive by Cannibals, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
And Doomed to Die, and Der Strugel der Kannibalen.
It sounds pleasant.
It is.
Have you seen the last horror movie?
No, that's not.
This is a movie that starts like a cheesy British horror film, and then the tape goes all fuzzy, and there's a gentleman talking to you, the viewer, who is a serial killer that has taken this tape from the video shop and is recording over it, and you're following him as he goes and kills people. He's a wedding photographer by day, and that's how he kind of picks some of his victims. And then it goes through this whole thing of how he wants to show you real horror and all this stuff. And it's a pretty cool movie. You should check that one out.
I have not heard that
one. It might be 2001, might be 2000. I forget what year it was. But it was very good that I remember. It was the fake horror movie wraparound is really funny. Like, I actually was kind of wanting to see that movie instead of his. But yeah, I recommended that one. Here's a heavy hitter series of found footage. The Paranormal Activity series. How do you like some of those? How many of those have you seen? Do you remember?
I believe I've seen the entire thing.
Okay.
So let's see. There's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then there's the marked ones or something like that.
Yes. Okay. I've not seen the marked ones.
I think I've seen the marked ones.
Yeah.
You and I saw the first one in the theater.
We did.
I enjoyed those.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one immensely.
Yeah.
The second one was the sort of prequel.
Yeah.
And then the third one was the one with the technical house with the cameras and she's on the webcams and stuff.
Yes.
That one dragged, but it did have its moments.
Yeah.
Cut about 30 minutes out of it.
Yeah.
That's my thing with it. There's so many spectacular things, like when everything in the kitchen falls.
Right.
When stuff is just stacked up.
Yeah. That's great.
There's a lot of that tense building, especially in the sequels.
Yeah.
Where it's just...
meh.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen. Let's just get to the good stuff. You don't need to build up the tension.
Right. That needed to be different.
This is direct-to-video. We're not going to be... Actually, they all got the...
Yeah, sadly enough. Only sad because of the third one. You and I saw the first one. I was all fired up afterwards, especially that it made somebody puke in the hallway when we were walking out. I was like, oh, great. It's like motion sickness. And then I loved the second one. I came out, I think I saw that one on my own.
Yeah, because I didn't see that one until it came out, too.
Oh, man. That scared the crap out of me. I liked it. Then I saw the third one. And for me, the third one was the second one again, but not as good.
That is, that's what... Actually, there's 4.
There's 4.
Actually, I just was looking it up.
Maybe I'm getting confused.
Well, I don't know which. And all the covers, of course,
are all the same.
Yeah. Okay, 4 is the one with the girl.
So maybe I liked 1, 2, and 3 and didn't like 4.
Oh gosh,
man.
yeah,
I'm
it's
all
okay.
Mixed up.
Yeah, because
Was the third one the 80s one?
I think so, because I see twin beds in the picture. Because I think the second one was where they go and visit her sister before, and he ends up with the camera at the end.
Okay, so, alright, I liked 1, I liked 2, I loved 3.
Yeah.
And then it was 4 that I was like, bleh.
And I want to say that the marked ones wasn't too bad.
I need to see it. I was kind of disillusioned, disheartened, and...
All I know is that I'm thankful because I remember leaving that movie with a huge crush on Katie Featherston, the lead woman in the first film. Who's
oh my god!
Consequently, through all of them.
Oh my god! How could you not? She's so cute.
She was very much like one of the actresses from Matt Farley films.
Oh yes, from the
New England born and bred
Freaky Folly. Gotta give a shout out to the Freaky Folly.
Such a great director.
They're making a new movie.
Oh,
they're making Slingshot Cops.
Maybe I haven't seen the marked ones now that I read a little bit. Yeah, I think I did see it. That's how memorable it was. But I mean, not bad.
Hey, just because you don't remember it doesn't mean it wasn't memorable. No, it means it might have been fun. That's the thing. Like, Paranormal Activity 4 was fun. It just... You know,
it just was nothing new,
right?
Except for we're going to use a few webcams. And, you know, it was just
needed more Kardashians.
That was my relevant pop culture joke.
There you go.
It sucked.
Jumping back to Nightlight, it leaves a lot to the imagination.
Yes, you see very little.
There are elements in Paranormal Activity where they tie things up. But now I'm thinking back, I'm like, well, whatever happened to that character? What about this? Well, what about that? So,
they're making the new one, the Paranormal Activity. I cannot remember the title of it.
Electric Boogaloo.
It's Electric Boogaloo. But supposedly you're going to there's going to be like a way to see the ghosts and see the demons.
Like glasses?
All I know is that...
What's the gimmick with that?
The gimmick is like... You can actually see the evil instead of maybe they took idiots to heart. Like idiots were like, I didn't see nothing. And they're like, oh, sorry, we'll show you.
Hey, as long as it makes some money.
Boom. This is a movie that you showed me. It's actually an unofficial prequel to all of the Paranormal Activity series. It's called Troll Hunter. No, it has nothing to do with anything. Troll Hunter, holy shit. What a fucking, roller coaster ride of accents. What country is that?
You mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad, bro?
I said trolling!
That is Norwegian.
Oh, man. So much fun. They're hunting... giant trolls that apparently roam Norwegia.
The great state of Norwegia is inhabited by... yokels, played by trolls. And
so much fun.
That film, and it could have been so silly.
Yeah.
It could have been too serious. It was a good mix of the two.
Yeah, it was over the top in all respects.
You know what the beautiful thing of it, and if you put Troll Hunter in the internet, you've seen pictures of this. The trolls are not... modified Hollywood, exactly what you'd expect to see monsterish. They're
not Hagrid's brother.
No, they're true to Norwegian, big pot belly, big nose, hair coming out of their ears, kind of just huge, or, they're goofy looking like you see with your little desk trolls and things. And it's beautiful.
It's perfect.
And there's so many different species of them, too. Yeah. It's not just the one.
That's one of the things that's fun about the movie is the guys cataloging the different types. And it's great. It's great.
What a great ride. I waited so long for that film to come out here, and I was not disappointed.
Very good stuff. Thank you for sharing it.
Oh, thank you for watching.
It was more like a boop, boop. Now, here's one. I don't know if you've seen this one or not. It's much smaller scale than Troll Hunter. It's called Home Movie. Do you know about Home Movie?
Yes, and why do I know about Home Movie?
A couple has taken in a pair of kids. I believe the husband is a psychologist, or perhaps they're both psychologists. I can't remember the exact details of that much, but these two kids are a little evil. And by a little, I mean very fucking evil.
I've seen this, but I can't.
It is dark, and it takes place around Halloween, I think, which adds that layer of creepiness to it, that layer of, like, for lack of a better term, fun Halloween spookiness on top of this film is extremely dark. And that's a film I thought of, too. I mean, I had it on my list already, but Mockingbird kind of made me think of that film a little bit, so.
I know I've heard of it. I don't know if I've actually seen it, but I know it wasn't voiced by H. John Benjamin. That's the other one.
I'm a pretty lady! So next on my list is the Rec series, R-E-C. How many of those, if any, have you seen?
I've seen Quarantine.
Yeah.
How many Quarantines are there?
2?
Okay. The second one was the airport.
I can't remember.
I've seen 2 of those.
Okay.
And I've seen 3 Recs.
Okay.
I think.
I have seen the first Rec, and I've seen Quarantine. I have not explored any further yet, but I'm really interested in the Recs, and they're still making them.
Yeah.
Get the 4 now?
I was really intrigued, especially with the ending of Rec. Or wait. Yes, Rec. The Mexican one. Or is it Mexican or South American?
Spanish? Like Spain Spanish?
Oh, okay, Rec 2, Rec 3, Rec Apocalypse. I've not seen Rec Apocalypse. I've seen Quarantine, and I've seen Quarantine 2, I think it was. But it was a lot of tense fun. Both Rec and Quarantine, since Quarantine's basically a shot-for-shot remake, has some strong points. I think the ending reveal was a lot more tense and scary in Rec.
Nice.
And one of those things where a budget really didn't help what it was doing. But there were certain things about the ending of Quarantine that were really well done. But you started feeling for the characters. Maybe it's just because it's subtitled. And
yeah.
I don't know what they're screaming, unless they're saying, "Don't dance, I'll burn you!" But they didn't,
I love the first Rec, and I enjoyed Quarantine. I was skeptical because it was a shot-for-shot remake, but hey, it worked for me. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of those. This next one is a film that we saw in theaters, The Last Exorcism. Man, that was fun.
Fun ending.
Very fun.
But it was the film that I figured out what I didn't want in a found footage film. Music and certain jerky shots or certain staged shots.
The convenience stuff.
Yeah. What an ending.
So good. It led to an episode of our show, The Devil's Reign. It inspired us to pursue that movie again. So remember, that was one of the movies we talked about when Last Exorcism was over.
Did you see the sequel?
No, it's where the girl goes to college.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's the hell roommate who's literally, possessed by a demon from hell. If you haven't seen Last Exorcism, go for it.
If you're not big into the found footage genre, it's a good one to jump in on.
Yeah. Atrocious.
Yes.
Which is a film that the title is hard to remember. We were both struggling to remember the title, but I remember that we both really enjoyed Atrocious. You watched it, then you told me about it, and I loved it. That's the Mexican one, I believe, is filmed in Mexico.
It's either Mexico or Spain.
I want to say, maybe it's a co-production, but...
Mexi-Spain.
Exactly. Family goes to their vacation home, which was the birthplace and home of the mother, and they're there for just a nice vacation, and turns into horrible, scary time, and man, whew!
What a ride.
I won't say anything about that plot-wise, other than what I've said. That doesn't spoil anything. But see Atrocious. It is one of the best of the genre, I think.
It was so fun. And it was not atrocious.
It was malnutritious.
What was the one around that time that we watched that was the Gacy House? Gacy House?
That was the next one. It's 8213 Gacy House. Now, you watch this and you're like, give it a watch. Just give it a watch and let me know what you think. And I can't believe I enjoyed this as much as I did because
there was so much wrong with it.
Total bottom of the barrel. I mean, obviously not the worst. There's going to be way worse than that, but it was just something about the energy, and it kept going and propelled. Might have been some cleavage.
There was
didn't hurt.
Gratuitous nudity.
Damn it, I kind of like that one. I don't heartily recommend it to anyone, but it was a good time.
I almost say it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
There's no reason to be guilty about it.
I always feel guilty when I feel pleasure. I'm going to mention a movie that's not a favorite of ours, and I feel responsible for traumatizing you because I told you about it.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Megan is missing.
I wish she'd have stayed missing.
I wish that I hadn't even watched it or talked to you about it and didn't have time to tell you not to watch it. Not a bad movie. It's not bad. It's, hey parents, show this to your daughter. She'll never use the internet again movie. It's very, very dark.
It's dark, and in the middle with the kids,
Ugh.
It's poorly acted.
That's true.
You know,
that's
like all those
true.
kids, they're like, "You're so stupid," whatever. Oh, and they're on the news, and it was just I'd totally forgotten about that until you mentioned it right now. It
definitely made you care about
not watching movies.
It made you hate yourself. You cared about the characters who were in peril, and when you learn what their fates are, it's really just icy chill, disturbing.
Peril rhymes with barrel.
Stay out of barrels, kids. It's worse than a refrigerator.
Jeez, that film was so... I had... For a while, they're my least favorite film of all time. There are films that I like, which I'll never buy because of a scene that's horrible.
Yeah.
Then there are films I just have watched, and there's a scene in them that's genius, but I'll never watch, which is that original version of Funny Games. The German version of Funny Games.
Yeah.
Oh, the remote control scene, one of the best scenes ever filmed.
Yep.
The rest of the film, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Megan's Missing is all the rest of that film.
We heartily don't recommend that. Can you imagine? Just imagine if you had a teenage daughter and you were just watching that movie.
She doesn't have to be yours. You could have abducted her. Put her in a barrel.
Don't give it away! No, seriously, like, I would rip the internet connection out of the house and we would never socialize with humans ever. It was so bad.
Just the sheer...
Oh my God.
Sheer fact that the last gratuitous scene that isn't really that gratuitous other than audio...
Yeah.
Goes on for like 10 minutes.
It makes you suffer. It makes you suffer. It makes you regret ever watching it. Let's move on. It's gotten too much attention already. Megan is found. Okay, now this one, people are very divided about this one. They're as divided as the letters in the title. VHS. What do you think of VHS?
Like any compilation, not everything's a gem.
Yeah.
There are some moments that are wow. And and actually, if you took VHS 1 and 2, I could probably reassemble them and have an enjoyable hour and 10 minutes.
There you go.
But, I mean, it's hit and miss with, I remember elements of certain things I liked about certain stories.
Yeah. I feel like I'll never watch it again.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the ride.
I put VHS much in the same category as I do the ABCs of Death.
Exactly. I mix those up a lot.
Yeah.
In my brain.
I tell you what, I was tempted by seeing the second one, and I really don't want it.
Yeah, I haven't either. So here's one I think we both enjoyed. I actually want to buy this movie. Chernobyl Diaries. Wish I'd seen it in theaters. Was so burnt out on found footage. I was actually turning almost anti-found footage when Chernobyl Diaries came out.
That's one that I was gonna write.
Then borrowed your copy?
Yep, because I went and just last Halloween it was like $2 or $3 at Best Buy, and I was like, I need to see this film, and
I loved it.
God, what a fun film it turned out to be.
Yeah, it gives you all kinds of
elements of creatures and elements of radiation, and elements of communism, and everything that was diggable was like.
It was good. It was really good, and I feel like some, like VHS, some found footage movies have no rewatchability. I think Chernobyl Diaries is going to have some rewatchability, if nothing else, for that creepy setting. I mean, you can't go wrong with the scariest place on Earth.
I mean, it's just a time capsule of a time that was recent, yet long gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm talking about Chernobyl, folks. I'm not talking about Haines City. Sorry, John.
Yeah.
My bad.
Haines City represents Stanley. Exit 55, I-4.
I won't be taking any Chernobyl tours anytime in my life.
You know what? We've on some of our driving jaunts have found some Chernobyl-like places. You remember the frickin' Spring Hill, the giant bunker we found?
What was that?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I actually took pictures of that bunker. It scared me. It haunted me.
It's right there on the main road, too. It's not like it's hidden.
No. That's where I hide my bunkers.
Welcome to Florida.
So here's a part 1 and a part 2 that you recommended. Grave Encounters and Grave Encounters 2.
Did I recommend those?
Yes. Yes, you did.
I don't think I've actually watched them.
Oh my god, I got punked.
Yeah.
I think you should check out.
I actually think I have seen Grave Encounters 1.
Okay. Grave Encounters 2 does the self-referential thing where it's a person who watched this. It's a universe where the film Grave Encounters exists. And so a college film student wants to recreate what happened.
Gotcha.
And so he goes out, and that's how Grave Encounters 2 gets made. And they're solid haunted house found footage films. And they were good stuff.
I remember watching number 1 and just it didn't keep my attention.
Somehow,
I'm not sure why.
For some reason, I remembered you liking them. I don't know why.
I think if it's the one I'm thinking of, I'll revisit it. But I don't remember part 2.
The only thing I don't like about Grave Encounters, the ghosts are. They show them very clearly, and they look kind of stupid. Like it's that.
What if ghosts really are stupid?
Oh no! Wait a minute. Blowjobs from ghosts. What? Anyway.
If you have ghosts,
you can touch your blow ghost. If you blow up the sheet, you give a ghost a thrill. That's the life I'm talking. Bobbity boo. Bibbity bobbity boo. The last one on my list is Lake Mungo.
Oh, yes. You turned me on to that one.
Wow, I love Lake Mungo. Man, I'm not going to say anything. Go see Lake Mungo. Don't read about it.
Just do yourself a favor.
It's Lake and then Mungo. It's an Australian.
Do you like Australia? Do you like schoolgirls? There you go. I mean, those really aren't selling points, but...
Do you like having the shit scared out of you?
Watch it in the dark at 1 in the morning, because that's what I did, and my experience was phenomenal.
I watched it in the office, completely dark, and I had the shades drawn, lights out, and man, I got so freaked out. I love that movie. Highly recommended. Highly. So what's on your list?
Just the few that I've got here. Hollow. It's also called Dunwich. It's the British one. Evil Manor, Evil Tree. At nighttime, scary.
I've heard of it, have not seen it.
It's worth a look. I remember enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, it's formulaic, but
I'll watch it.
It's funny listening to people scream with accents. Pip pip!
Cheerio!
One that I'm sure I don't know if you've seen it yet. No, I haven't seen this, but I'm curious, and I was going to see if you've seen it. Get your opinion. As Above, So Below.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Somebody recommended it to me. I can't remember who it was, so I'm going to check it out.
That's definitely one it came and went so quick in the theater.
Yeah, that was a pretty recent one. And I remember the imagery of is it catacombs?
Yeah. Is it Paris? Or
it might be the Paris catacombs. They look really interesting.
Yeah. There's another found footage film that is escaping my mind.
It's not Don't Mess with the Zohan, is it?
Apollo 18.
No, I've never seen that. You have a fascination with the space program, so that one should have been right up your alley.
Maybe it had too fine a point on it for me, but there was a lot wrong with that film, and I'd like to revisit it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, yeah.
Interesting.
And the last one on my list here is an oddity, Frankenstein's Army.
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that one. I totally forgot about that movie.
I don't think of it as a found footage film until somebody says, "Oh, it's a found footage film."
Right, because it takes place World War II. Yeah. Someone has a film camera, and they're filming some Russian soldiers going through. I'm guessing they're in German territory. They're in Germany?
Yeah, they're somewhere. They're either Germany or...
I really wanted to love that movie. There's an element about that movie I love, and that is the monsters. All of the creations keep one-upping themselves, and every time one of them shows up, it is such a showstopper. The acting in that movie is what killed it for me. I don't expect great things from found footage, but there's a scene when two characters are going, fuck you, no, fuck you, fuck. It's so dumb that it took me out of it. I was enjoying it, and I was like, man, I can't wait for this to be over now, because all of a sudden, all of the screaming, spitting, and yelling that everyone's doing is so obnoxious, and there's half an hour of movie left. 90% great, 10% I don't ever want to see it again, which is why it's already come and gone from my shelves. I bought it for $9.99, and then I watched it, and I was like, yep, never gonna see that again. Should have rented it. Whoops. But it was fun. How do you feel about that one?
I almost bought it. I same thing. It had, when they were doing the fundraising for it, those teasers were the best thing.
Oh, I forgot
ever.
about the teasers.
And
they
then
were the best.
Because they were just like propaganda films, and they seamlessly welded old footage with new filmed footage.
Yeah.
And then when the film actually came out, it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
It would have been so much better not found footage. I think it would have been better as a straight movie without that kind of layer of, you know, the baggage that a found footage movie brings. Like, okay, why do people keep filming? Why are people still carrying the camera around? Shouldn't they be leaving the camera and running for their lives? You know, the criticisms of the whole subgenre really come to play when it's a big, clunky movie camera. How many reels do they have?
My thought with that is it would have been better as a non-found footage, or it would have been better as a film made up of 10-minute segments, like 6 or 8 of them, but done strictly in that propagandist style.
Yes.
You know, like,
let them build.
Like, oh, here's the, and have like the first 7 be like the German things, the test things, getting bigger and better, and the last one be the Americans come in with their cameras and film the aftermath.
Yeah.
Or something, or the Russians come in.
Like a faux documentary.
That would
have been cool.
Do it over installments instead of trying to blow your wad on this film that was boring from the outset, got really cool for the last 20 minutes, and then was, like you said, forgettable. Just flung aside.
Yeah.
Really wanted to like it, but...
Our discussion has led me to a film that was probably one of the first instances of found footage being used in a film that I saw. Do you remember John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness?
Yes.
There is a moment in that film where they discover and they show this VHS footage of something happening. And it is fucking terrifying. Like, I don't want to spoil it. I mean, I'm assuming most people who listen to this show, I hope, have seen Prince of Darkness.
Is that the one with Alice Cooper?
Yes, Alice Cooper has a small part, a very creepy, lingering part.
He doesn't even have words.
No, he doesn't say a word as far as I know. Donald Pleasance is also in it.
I always get that film tangled up with The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yep.
And for some reason, oh goodness, it's like the Clive Barker one. Sam In the Mouth of Madness.
You know, that was Carpenter as well.
Oh, was it Carpenter? Oh.
Yeah. No, I feel like Prince of Darkness is like him gearing up.
Okay.
In a way for that, because I love both of those movies. But there is a found footage thing in Prince of Darkness that, like, I remembered as a kid being scared of Prince of Darkness. and then not seeing it for like 10, 15 years. And when I finally did see Prince of Darkness, a lot of it is so fucking crazy, but the thing that still creeps me out is when they are rolling that looks like a newsreel footage. It scares me to this day. It still scares me. And I think that was like, I would like to see something like that incorporated into a found footage movie. Like, have that moment where it crosses the boundaries of reality, which is what he did in The Mouth of Madness. There's a lot of, hey viewer, this is happening, you're fucked,
That's the movie that got my friend Eric to stop watching horror movies. Was In the Mouth of Madness.
Nice!
I don't remember if this was found footage or not. Monsters? I remember he was a photojournalist. Or maybe it was partially found footage. Or...
God, that's a really good question. You know what it was? It was
because he was filming it, but I don't remember what
that was. Totally found footage. I thought
that was fun.
That was a great movie. Yeah, I'm curious about that sequel.
But the
the trailers are interesting.
Yeah,
a little bigger scale craziness.
I was just thinking of sort of a found footage. It was actually the first thing I really remember was '83, a film called made for TV movie called Special Bulletin. And it was basically a news broadcast. Some terrorist group brings a homemade atomic bomb into the middle of Charleston, South Carolina, in the harbor there. And it was all about the news broadcast covering it. And it was one of those films, I think parents were like, oh, our kids aren't going to watch this tonight because it's going to give them nightmares and da-da-da-da-da.
I've heard of that one. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it was, it's kind of badly done, but it was at that time where people who were in control still remembered things like War of the Worlds being broadcast and being freaked out about that. So there were a lot of disclaimers around it and much ado about that.
There's one you're making me think of that I have seen. British ghost story. They go to investigate a haunted house or a possession. It was broadcast and scared the living shit out of people.
Ghost Watch?
Yes, Ghost Watch. That is creepy as shit. And they aired that on British television with, like, maybe a little warning, but people were tuning in late, and they thought that the world was going to come to an end. Man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, especially some of these that fool people, like Blair Witch fooled some people because of those flyers. I remember those flyers were out, and it was like, these 3 kids are missing, and it was like,
I still have that shirt. The missing shirt.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I need to see this because Craig Charles is in it.
Which one's he?
He is... You mean beyond this? He is Lister from Red Dwarf. And now he's a DJ, so...
That's hot.
But, yeah, I just saw his name attached to it. And
sweet.
That's fantastic. No, yeah.
Ghost Watch is good shit. So yeah, folks, we here at Hello, This is the Doom Show, we're fans of found footage genre. We're not haters. I tried to be, but I can't stop loving it.
Yeah.
It's easy to get sick of, and I think it's like I go in waves where I'll watch a bunch of them to get that kind of like more visceral scare, like that kind of like pins and needles fright. I want those to have those.
Just like anything, for every Nirvana, you're gonna have a
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, you're gonna have a Stone Temple Pilots, and then later
a Silverchair.
You're gonna have
Well, sir, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
One of my favorite genres.
Woo. Folks at home. What was that?
Don't know. It came from over there.
Dude, I know Lietta's...
Yeah, she's
gone to bed. Hold on. Let me get a flashlight. Something's wrong.
Well, don't...
I have a flashlight somewhere. Is it... Oh, wait, there it is. No, that's a grenade.
Well, the flashlight should have a camera on it, right?
That's right. Okay, let's go. Stand in the corner! Mom, I'm sorry. Dad, I'm sorry. I won't watch the Poughkeepsie tapes. Or whatever that movie is.
And scene.
If you would like to contact Hello, This is the Doomed Show, please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/HelloDoomedShow. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. At Doomed Moviethong. #HelloDoomedShow. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies.
Hello, my name is Rod Barnett.
I'm Troy Gwynn.
And we are your genial co-hosts for NashyCast, the podcast about the films of Paul Naschy. If you don't know who Paul Naschy is, you need to learn.
Spanish horror icon, writer, director, actor, makeup artist.
He is all of these things and more. Paul Naschy, one of the greatest genre filmmakers of all time. Do titles like Horror Rises from the Tomb,
Vengeance of the Mummy, Werewolf Shadow,
House of Psychotic Women,
Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll,
Mark of the Werewolf make you want to see more?
Watch the film, then come hear our stunning, brilliant commentary.
Stunning and brilliant. That's us. Think that's too egotistical? Think that sounds silly? Think we come off as assholes?
Look, if nothing else, let us tell you this. Blood, nudity, beautiful women, werewolves and turtlenecks.
Nipples. Lots of nipples. Both male and female. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's going to want to listen to us after this, man. Find us at The Bloody Pit of Rod, or
you can subscribe to us on iTunes.
Give us a listen. And if we scare you too much, well, maybe Spanish horror is not your thing. I don't know. 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 I don't know.